Hey everyone, welcome back to the Ultrapond podcast. This Tuesday we had an amazing Nintendo Direct, and we are just going to spend this entire podcast just talking about that Direct and everything we love about it.
That we had to come back from the depths to do this one. Come back from the failure to do our podcast. Which is my fault, honestly. You're always there when I'm like hitting you up. So, but by the way, speaking of what do you want to say?
I was just gonna say it doesn't matter, bro. Like we just do the podcast when we feel like it's time for us to do the podcast. I don't worry about when it happens. Just it happens when it's ready.
Well, the time is now. And by the way, I stream Twitch pretty consistently now. And this is
I'm PatientTadpole. I am not streaming consistently at all, but hey, I know.
Twitch
Exactly. All right.
Come watch us play video games. But yeah, let's get started on this Nintendo Direct. So it started off with a banger, especially for stuff that we're into. Like right off the bat, it went to Mario and Luigi Superstar Saga, which is like seems like
fun fact, the animation of Mario and Luigi in this is based off of like the front image of Superstar Saga. So this is like what the art style is from the original game. So
that makes sense because this looks literally like a remake of the original game. Like when it first showed up, like I didn't think it definitely gave off Mario and Luigi vibes right away. With Luigi, like right at the beginning, I think Luigi out first, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, Luigi pops out. And then I'm just like, dude, Mario and Luigi, what? Like and I wasn't thinking it was gonna be a new game for like right away. I was like, oh, maybe it's like some sort of remake or collection. Like that's pretty cool. Or I didn't know.
And the thing is, I was certain until it showed the title, I was certain it was something else. So in case you didn't know, the company that made Mario and Luigi Superstar Saga, that's made all the Mario and Luigi series, they went bankrupt years ago. That's why we haven't seen a game of this franchise for 9 years. So this, as far as I can tell, I've been looking at, I think it's just produced by Nintendo themselves, which is...
Yeah, we're not going to know who like was really involved until we see the credits, because Nintendo's notoriously like, not cheaty, what's the word? They're just super secret about that stuff. So yeah, we're not going to know. Yeah.
But what I'm hearing with that is that if it's Nintendo's first thing they're showing, that this is Nintendo's polish is making sure it's like I'm excited.
Yeah, because if Nintendo's doing it, they're doing it right.
Mm-hmm.
But I feel like they would give it to another company. But you can see that they have different kind of characters they made, which is really cool. Like I've never seen they don't do variants of the Goombas and Koopas, which I think is kind of what they were trying to stop people from doing. But they do have like all these weird like tool characters, and then it was just showing like a little stump creature. Like there's a bunch of new characters I've never seen.
I have an entire thing, just like the fact that one of the reasons we dislike the newer Paper Marios is they would actively limit it to the characters of the Mushroom Kingdom, and you couldn't expand outward. And this just immediately they actively forced that limitation, which is why we were like, we will never see Paper Mario: The Thousand Year Door or a game like it. And then, hey, they re-released Thousand Year Door, and here's Mario and Luigi with a bunch of brand new characters. Just, oh my gosh! Yeah. So that's one of the things I'm super hyped about. Like if you could just scroll back just a few seconds, like right before it shows the title, right here, it shows the ship that the brother ship is about. Yeah, so like this looks like it's just like a nice hub world. Like there's several layers to it. There's probably some special shop or something in that cave down there.
Probably unlock different parts of it as you go through the campaign or the story, you know?
Yeah.
And that's like the best kind of RPG. And that's like what Mario, like when Mario is at its best to me is when it has a nice hub world. Like it's like one of the really good things. Like Mario 64, amazing. Mario Galaxy, it was honestly a decent hub world, especially with the library in it. But then Mario Galaxy 2, they fell off. They didn't have a hub world. And same with Odyssey. That's like my one complaint about Odyssey, which is an amazing game. But like there's no hub world. The hub world is just your little hat thing. It's like I love a good hub.
Yeah. If the ship that like is the hat, if we actually were able to walk into the ship and have, instead of just a single room, be like, you know, a layered hat that's, you know, a top hat that kind of like goes up for different levels, and there was something to do in there. Like,
yeah, they could have done some other stuff. Yeah, that would be cool. But, yeah.
So
Brothership looks sick. I'm excited.
yep, I've actually been looking a lot at the mechanics of the things that they're doing differently. One thing I have to get convinced on is it looks like Luigi just kind of trails behind you and you command him instead of having to control both at once. I understand that was very complicated. Like on the first Superstar Saga, I remember there was this little spike jump theme. You had to jump with Mario and then with Luigi, and that was probably really hard for some people. But like now he just trails behind. You hit a action command to make Luigi do what you want him to. I'm not sure
Yeah,
how.
like in that scene right there, it kind of looks like it.
Mm-hmm. So
Yeah,
I'm going to have to get convinced on that. I'm sure that's more of an accessibility theme. They were just like, this doesn't add anything, but I don't know. To me, it just like it is part of the flavor text of what is Mario and Luigi series, having to like manage both of them at the same time. But
yeah, it does kind of look like they're separate because in the original game they were trailing like literally right behind each other, and then you would press a button and it'd flip who was in front and who was in back, so you could lead with Luigi if you wanted, and it opened up different moves. Like there was like you press L and it would switch to you basically only had A and B because this was on the Game Boy Advance,
mm-hmm,
and you press L to switch to your special moves, right? And then I think you press select to switch who's in front,
mm-hmm,
and like whenever you pressed L to make A and B a special move, it was different depending on which
yep,
brother was in front.
yep,
And they really like played with all of the resources they had, and I get what you're saying because like yeah, from these shots, I think comes right after this. It really doesn't look like it's yeah, he's like way behind him.
yep. And yeah, that's kind of the theme. Like it was fun just having little things. Like for example, in the Superstar Saga, there's a part where you get the ability where if you have Luigi pull out the hammer and hit Mario with it, he'll flatten. But you can still
Mm.
hit Mario with a hammer before you get that ability, and Mario will just get really angry at Luigi. I thought that was just like a beautiful like little animation you get. Uh,
Yeah, yeah, they always have the interaction. It's like the environmental interactions that uh what's it like develop the story. The flavorful. It's like
yeah,
flavorful
yeah.
environmental.
It's the magic circle. It helps bring you right into that world. And I think that's
Hmm.
really cool. And like the thing is, I trust that they are doing enough to make sure we will be in that world. It does
Yeah,
seem a
the
little,
circle is magic.
yeah. It seems a little more like I'm gonna say slimmer. I'm not saying that as a negative connotation, but just like there's
Like
hmm?
like refined, or
Yeah,
are you talking about the
yeah, like
like
the
it almost looks bare bones. Is that
yeah.
what you mean?
Um, like I'm
Yeah.
not going to use the word refined because that has too much I'm just kind of doing neutral connotation of that, where
Okay,
it's just
gotcha.
like they've definitely streamlined it. Um,
Yeah, they it does look like they slimmed it down to like what are the and I feel like Nintendo does this a lot. Like I almost want to make a video on just this subject, but Nintendo does this a lot where it almost like purifies and I'm trying to say it neutrally too, but it like purifies it to like what are the core things that we're doing in the Mario and Luigi series, and they're like only doing those things. Is that what you mean? Stuff like
yeah.
that? Like they're being very
So I noticed
yeah.
multiple times it seems like A and B is our jump, but X and Y are our hammer hits. It seems like that's really
Uh
our options. There's no like R and L to switch between options. Um,
yeah, I mean I wouldn't do too many like I mean, we don't really know what this game's gonna play like at all,
fair enough.
but I see your predictions though.
Yep.
I mean, I just wouldn't lose your hope. I wouldn't look at it and like, yeah, oh, you can't do this, you can't do that. Like, we don't know yet. We don't know,
Yep.
but
Um,
I see where your worries are coming from for
yep.
sure.
And obviously I took pauses and freeze frames on all the mechanics to think about it. When you're jumping and dodging, it also has a button that says press R for emergency guard. So they're doing some mechanics with the main game as well. So
Emergency part, like during one of the battles, it says
yeah, so
that.
like
Oh, then it just said
right
for
here when
movement
it
chat.
shows when this guy starts hammering, you could see it in the corner, emergency guard available.
Oh, that's
So
cool. Just in case you can't get the timing right on
yeah,
those things.
I think that's it. A lot of this is probably like
Oh,
Mario
swing
and
hammer, swing
Luigi.
hammer.
Hmm? Yeah, there was the
I just
hammer.
saw the controls with swing hammer. Yeah.
Yeah. So yeah, one of the things is Mario and Luigi, by the nature of how it works, it's an awkward game. Like it's about working two people at once. I'm thinking they did a lot of the simplification to make that easier. And then they have buttons like emergency guard and stuff for that last little thing so that because that's one of the things. One of the important things about Mario is anyone could play Mario. And Superstar Saga was amazing, but unlike Paper Mario, it's not the most approachable. Like
What was amazing?
the entire Mario and Luigi series, but I don't think it's as approachable as
Okay.
Paper Mario because of the action prompts, because of things like that being so necessary to the game.
Yeah, yeah. Like definitely the first. It's like yeah, it's not quite baby's first RPG. Like if I'm thinking about Superstar Saga. Um, yeah, it's like it's one of those things where you can get through it without doing those mechanics and like probably be fine. But you definitely want to master those to be able to do it. And yeah, it looks like they're doing that. They're making it a lot more streamlined stuff. Yeah, and like you said, it's like they're like slimming it down. They're like just doing like the very basics of what is the essence of this. So, yeah, that's cool. I mean, I don't know what else to say on this personally. I think I mean there's a lot of
Yeah.
like
There's a lot of small things that I'm sure we can bring up for hours or go into tangents on,
that's what
but
I'm
I
saying.
think we should
Yeah.
move on to the next game because I did a count. There are 31 games, and I am there are certain things that are
There's a
groups of
lot
games
that
that I compiled as one.
oh, okay. I was gonna say because there is Just Dance in this one. There's like I
Yeah.
feel like there's a Just Dance, so like they did Just Dance also in here. But yeah, we'll move on from Mario and Luigi. I'm
I will
super
say the
stoked.
next big discussion point I have is at game number 13. So
Oh, okay. So like maybe we don't have to worry too much about going too hard on this, but yeah, we don't want to spend all the time going over Mario and Luigi.
yeah.
You know, maybe we could do a whole podcast on just this series, to
um
be honest.
dude, I'd
Like we
be
played
great for
all of them.
that. This game releases on November 7th, so it's not this is honestly one of the
Oh,
more like coming out soon sort of things. We might do a podcast as it comes closer to release date. I think that
that's a
would be
good
a
idea.
great idea.
Let's do it. Look forward to that, two listeners. I'm just kidding. Um, what else do I want to say? Oh, there's just one thing I didn't realize while researching this. I didn't realize Dream Team came after Bowser's Inside Story, and I also didn't realize Bowser's Inside Story came out on the DS. In my memory, it came out on the 3DS just because of how good that game is
Dude,
specifically. But
Bowser's Inside Story was way ahead of its time. I specifically
yeah,
remember it came out and like we were hanging out with our friends and like, hold up, we just need to finish a stage of Bowser's Inside Story. And we're like, okay, well, there's usually a good save block every 10 minutes. He was 2 hours late.
because it just flows. It's just like you get
Yeah.
to one spot to the next spot, and you go to
Yeah.
the next. Yeah, exactly. You don't
You,
want to stop.
I need to go back and play that game simply to dissect how they did the flow of the game loop because it
Mhm.
was perfect. I have never had a game that good at the
Even to
flow
the
of game.
point where yeah, even to the point where I wanted to do all the side quests too. Like it wasn't just like the story had flow and you can stop and do it was like that flowed into it too, all the side quests did.
Yep.
So good.
Yeah.
But let's not rant about this
Yeah.
too long.
Let's move on
Bring
to
the
the
championships home.
yeah. Yep. Nintendo World Championships NES edition. So
I feel
this
like you'd have more. Yeah, go,
yeah.
go, go, go.
This is basically so we had another game that was Ultimate NES Remake that we played a bit of. And basically the statement of this is because it's just little micro it feels like the WarioWare style micro games, but where WarioWare is like polished to these instances, this is just like your favorite nostalgic hits. What I found from
Yeah.
playing through I did play through the Ultimate NES Remix. I definitely felt like where the nostalgia failed, the game just kind of fell short, unfortunately.
So like unless you're like hella nostalgic on this, you don't think people are gonna have
Yeah.
a good time with it.
But
Mm.
like that being said, they have these little theme where it's a challenge, which is to beat the
This is
entire
cool.
game, and it has like these maps. This is where I'm really excited for this game. This is the it
This
right here.
And for me, I'm the type of guy like I love Nintendo Power. I love the old magazines. I love all the old like the media that has to do with video games. So this, I mean, it looks like they just pulled it straight out of Nintendo Power basically. And and if they didn't, it's at least set up like that. And this part's really cool.
I'm waiting for like
Like
a
it,
suit.
like you said, all good.
I'm waiting to see a super expert mode, and it just shows the map, except it shows like the speedrun routes of like if you clip into this block here, you could then do a jump here. Cause but like, yeah,
Yeah,
this where it's like a challenge. It's like a challenge, it's a race. The race is 6 seconds long. I'm not
yeah. It's for speedrunner, and which is why I thought you would be into it. But even if you are just like it doesn't even hit
it's
you for this, so you have to have the nostalgia feel and the speedrunner like
so
mindset.
so yeah, it's just like the thing is I'm not exactly I don't speedrun every game I play. I speedrun games that's like I finished the game and I'm not done with it yet. These are
Okay, yeah.
classics.
That's how I could start.
Yeah. Um these are classics. These are games that if you're not done playing with them, that's because you will never stop playing them for the rest of your life. That's what makes them speedrun games. Um
Yeah, I feel that.
so like I'm
I
not
feel that from your perspective, but I just know there are people who, like, Like they love what's that White Devil game that came out?
Oh,
Fucking
Neon White.
thank you, Neon White. Uh, people like that's kind of a speedrun game. You know, it's
Hmm.
not really, but it kind of appeals to more speedrunners and it incentivizes. It's kind of like Sonic too, and you're kind of appealing to those Sonic games, so you're kind of in that niche of video gamers. But um, yeah,
And s-
definitely,
and so
it definitely appeals to like if you want to like be the best and like get your record and stuff like that. But
so
even for
while
a nostalgia gamer like me, I'm not super into it.
and here's the thing, it appeals to those people. The reason Neon White appeals to those people is because every level is specifically built to be speedran. These are just taking levels in NES. Not all of these stages are meant to be speedran. And that's where my where when you play the game, I find that the polish, like it's polished to be a long form game, not to be 3 seconds to hit a hammer, bro. You know?
Yeah, yeah, like it wasn't built for this. They're kind of just taking it and messing. I see what you're saying.
Mm-hmm. The
But
only
yeah, I'm not super into it. I like all the like extras they're doing. Like I almost want to get like if I had just extra money, I would definitely get the
yeah,
collector's edition just because like that's
and
fucking
and
sick.
that's why I was
But
saying if we could just go 5 seconds further so we could see the collector's
no,
edition, like oh
there's
my
no
gosh, the fact that they make the collector's edition look like an NES cartridge, like
yeah,
that
that
that is the value. Literally, I
like
might buy this just to keep it sealed, to have that cartridge out, and just that's on my mantle. I'm not gonna play the game.
yeah.
I'm not interested in the game, but that mantle, that as a mantelpiece, is
Oh my
amazing.
gosh, please do it. Please buy it. Please get the collector's edition.
All right.
'Cause yeah, it's got all these random. I think these are just this is art. Like I would love to have this art right here. And this part seems cool. Because okay, the whole world championship thing was sick back. I mean, it was past our era, or it was before our
Yep.
era, but like just when I was first researching Nintendo, this was like some of the first stuff that came up was I mean, they do have a championship cartridge you can that like actually exists too, and like an actual NES cartridge that has like different. It has like four different modes you can play it in, and it's all like these different games. One of them was they had like a sports one. They had Mario 3. I think they had Zelda and then Mario. That was like the four games for the actual NES championship. And then the movie Wizard played into that, and that's a whole thing. Anyways, this is cool nostalgia trip. But yeah, as far as a game, it's like I don't know.
Yeah, it's so funny that we are invested in the deluxe set with all of the physical stuff and not the game itself.
Yeah, we're like, oh, but it's a game. Both of us are the same way with that. Yeah. Anyways, if you
Yep.
want it, you want it.
All right. Game
Next,
3.
your name. Oh, I thought it was play.
Yep.
Final Battle. Okay, so this is just an anime game.
Yep.
Fairy Tale.
So,
Which the go for? You're the anime guy. Yeah.
so one the thing about most anime fighting games is you either get it from I can't remember the studio that does like Guilty Gear, or it's like a garbage fighting game. That's usually
Really?
the
Oh, okay. So there's
that's
more
usually
than
the
one.
story of this. So I made sure to look this up if this is a garbage fighting game. I realized, hey, this doesn't look exactly like a fighting game. So I looked them up. You remember the game Hyrule Warriors? The
Yeah.
like this
Warriors
is
game. Yeah.
yeah, this is basically a Hyrule Warriors. This is basically it's just us like fighting mob battles with this weird the strategies on the back end, not in any specific combat encounter, but how the battlefield shapes out. And like I find that game to be kind of
Is it
interesting.
made by the Warriors team? Is that
It's
what you're
made by the
saying?
Warriors
Okay.
team. Dynasty Warriors, Hyrule Warriors, they're making Fairy Tale too. So when I
Okay.
realized that, I'm
So
like,
yeah.
okay, if you like that style of game, hey, here's the next one. And if you like this anime, hey, it's based off this anime. Like the people that want
Yeah, that's
this,
pretty cool.
let me tell you, the people that want this are hyped, and then the rest of us are just like, good for you.
Yeah. Yeah. The only reason I played the Hyrule Warriors was because it was Zelda. Like I don't.
Yeah,
I do not.
yeah, it was a nice
Yeah.
introduction to the franchise, but it wasn't like, oh, now I'm into this franchise. It's something we play and we have fun with when we're playing together, but we're more invested in our conversations together and just having this game in the background kind of theme.
I'm more invested in just seeing well in our conversations, but like for me, the appeal is the Zelda stuff. You know, it's like
Mm-hmm.
even because they had the definitive edition, which was literally just like multiverse. They just brought all the characters
Mm-hmm.
together in like a weird line, which I thought that was cool in itself, and the storyline and like the different characters going up. But Breath of the Wild one, the Warriors version of that, they actually had some like prequel story too. But again, for me, it was all about the story. It's crazy how a lot of like that was the second game where it's like we don't like the game, but there's this other stuff around the game that's appealing. Anyways, and
Yep.
this logo looks exactly like the Lorwyn logo, which
Yep.
when I'm editing the podcast show up. But don't you think? Right from
Yeah, a
Magic the
bit.
Gathering.
I
Um,
mean, it's
dude,
literally fairy
look at
tale. I like because I'm the anime guy. I'm like, yeah, it's just the fairy tale logo. I didn't really get that clicked in.
let me see. Let me see. Let me look it up for you. And let me just put it on so I don't have to. Yeah, look at this. Looks exactly the same. Look at that. I guess it's
Alright.
not exactly. It just looks so
It
similar.
looks so. It looks very similar.
Anyways,
Honestly,
I
looking
was.
Lorwyn the fairy tale set. I'm
Yeah,
getting.
exactly. I think they kind of.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I guess I'll drains
Magic
the
the
fairy
Gathering.
tale
Or more
set,
Magic
but
the Gathering. All right, let's move on. Next game.
all right. Fantasian Neo Dimension.
Okay, I've heard. Oh, this is by Square Enix, right? Yeah.
Yeah, so this is specifically by the creator of Final Fantasy. They
Yeah,
made
that's
sure
awesome.
to emphasize that multiple times at the beginning, if I'm correct. Um, because as far as I know, this is a new IP, and as a big JRPG of a new IP, half the people fell asleep unless there's a good reason for us to wake up. So
Yeah, I mean the battle system looks all right. Like it's different. Like I like it's like oh okay, it has to do with the orientation of your moves, but
yeah.
it's
In
is
addition,
that only for magic users? Is there a more? It's they only show the line. It's like is there other types of spread moves you can do
yeah,
other with other variations? They only showed one
yeah,
doing it in like
do
a line.
yeah, and also
You
do
know?
the enemies group up? Like these raid battle themes, do the enemies group up in a specific way if you get certain enemies in the raid? Like how does that work? Um, but I do love the
Yeah.
concept because it looks like what this those raid battles are is it's basically allowing you to have random encounters without it breaking the flow of gameplay because you're just like building up this meter as you walk around, and then when you get to your destination you just stop, have this huge raid battle, and when it finishes you make it to the town. Like,
What's the meter?
so if you just scroll back one little block, um there's a whole thing that whenever you're walking around you just build up, the enemies don't fight you, they just like add to this pool where you can all fight them all at once in one situation.
What? Did
So
it
yeah,
say that in the
yeah,
trailer?
it
Did it
does
not
say that.
even? Is it after this
It's
part?
right after this fight. It shows him walking around and he builds up like right here. So he shows three more enemies just added to the group there.
Oh,
And
that's what it's
so
showing right here.
my
I
question is,
really, you can tell I just kind of let this trailer fly over my head. I did not look into the mechanics at all. I was just like, RPG,
yeah,
cool, might check it
yeah,
out. Like,
my question is, how are they going to balance the fact that you have these single fights and then you have these raid battle fights in the same location? I don't. I'm questioning how they balance that so that it feels fun, so that you want to take the risk, but then like I'm just curious on how that balance is going to work out, basically.
maybe it kind of is a alternative to grinding. So it's like you can totally skip the dungeon battles where you're like, I need to grind. Well, I have all these enemies built up, boop, and just kind
Yeah.
of lets you grind. I think it's cool. I like the idea. I like honestly in this direct, there's a lot of RPGs that I just the first time just kind of glossed over, including this one. But upon rewatching it, I was like, a lot of these RPGs are doing new stuff. That seems cool,
Yeah.
and like, want to check them out.
Yeah.
So this is one. I've got nothing more to say.
And that's one of the things, because we spent the time to really like study to make a video for this direct. We were looking at the deeper elements of these RPGs, and
You know a
like,
lot more apparently.
yeah, I do notice that it's like, okay, there's actually a good reason why people are excited for every time a new JRPG comes out. It's not just the more schlock, you know.
A
But
Marshlock?
just like sometimes you just see five JRPGs in a row as just like, this is the third Final Fantasy clone.
Yes. Exactly. And there was a lot enough to like if you weren't paying attention where it could be like that in this direct, but upon review watching it again, it's like, oh, these are actually
Mhm.
kind of different, doing different things, and I'm sure hardcore RPG
Yeah.
fans thought the same thing.
And albeit this is literally a Final Fantasy, it's made by the people who made Final Fantasy, but like this gets the right to do that because of the creator.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly. Yeah, this gets the right to look like a Final Fantasy. I don't even think I mean stylistically, yes, but fighting wise, definitely.
All right.
Anyways, I'm letting this play out.
Next
Oh, and
up.
this was the weirdest announcement. It's like, oh, by the way, this was so weird. It's like we're adding basketball, and the basketball doesn't even look that good. It's literally
Yeah,
just
no, it
like
doesn't. Just see them every single 3-pointer they shoot, it's like it hits basically. I'm just like, so is there just a
I mean that
style and then
okay, that part like okay, but this part is the part where I'm like, what do you because it doesn't look like you control the little dudes. Like it looks like they just kind of do what
Oh
they
my.
want. You know what I mean?
You're
It's
right.
like unless
I didn't realize they're not moving the arrow. They're not moving an analog stick or anything.
yeah, unless it's just not showing that part where you have the analog. But then if you're doing analog and then you're also shooting, that seems kind of weird. It could work, but yeah, they're not moving it. This part, this seems like okay for a mini game. Like I could see people getting into. Okay, sure.
It's like, oh, if I have this game, cool. If I don't have this game, where's
Yeah,
the
still not
DLC
convincing.
here, Nintendo?
Yeah, still not convincing.
I'm sure we'll
Didn't they
talk
have golf too a while back? Wasn't that the most recent one before this?
probably. Just my one comment is this: you will never be Wii Sports.
I know. Seriously, you won't. Sorry.
Um,
That was like that was because motion control was coming a crazy thing.
yeah.
Let me check. Let me just check real quick. DLC. Yeah, I think golf. They do have golf, so I think they added that because they only had soccer, volleyball, and bowling at first. So intense. Okay. Anyways, weird that they did that.
Yep.
Let's
Next
go
up,
on to that.
so
Let's go.
Neo Memories in Orbit. This,
This. Go
yeah,
for it.
yeah. So my first thought when I saw just the visuals, I'm like, wait, is this like a Tears of the Kingdom spinoff or something? Like
Oh, geez,
the
that's funny.
colors, the color palette is like perfect for that, but no.
I do see that with the technology too, kind of Sheikah, yeah.
Yep. So this kind of like as we continue through the video, it will like it emphasizes a lot about like the movements. Like it you see the character like flying across enemies and stuff. Like this is actually like a fast-paced looking Metroidvania thing. Um and as I was like trying to research it, they already have a Steam page for this to go deeper into detail about what it's about.
Oh, no way.
Yeah. So like one of the themes is like that grappling hook. You get it early on, and one of the themes is whenever you get to a save point, you have to stop and like decide. All right, I can use this as like a range projectile, or it's like an evasive weapon. So like that power up is a different kind of item for you in combat, depending on how you want to do it. Basically, like another theme is they gave the option of here's a shield. You may choose turn this shield into like a greater damage boost, and like so you give. I'm interested in how they do that playstyle stuff. I'm not
So
so
wait, what's going on? So it's just like the different power-ups you get are versatile, basically?
yeah. So
So,
like the power
okay.
ups, any power up that allows you to maneuver through the world also is a combat power up, but you decide how it's used in combat. So like there you could see one case he like slides through an enemy to evade them. Another case he literally like flies to it and then puts a knife in them. Like one it's a combat, one it's an
Yeah,
evasive.
interesting.
Um as for as I said, I look at the developers. These are the same developers that made Curse of the Dead Gods, which, if you're into roguelikes, it's a pretty good roguelike, but it's not like, this isn't Silksong. This is
Which
still,
is immediately what I thought when I saw it. I was like, this. I thought it was like, wait, Silksong?
yeah, no,
Because,
no. I feel like their argument is, you want Silksong? Here's Silksong at home.
yeah, kind of. Yeah, dude, yeah, what's going on with that game?
Yeah,
Anyways,
which
I mean, it looks
interesting.
alright. It looks pretty cool.
Yeah, it's
I'm like
interesting.
just getting into Metroid. I'm like playing. We'll talk about it when
Yeah,
we
we'll
get
talk
to
about it, but yeah, it's interesting. If it comes out and we still have nothing about about Silksong, I'll pick it up just to check it out.
it.
All right.
Yeah, I think I'm skipping this one.
Yep.
It's not, doesn't look like my style,
Yep.
but we got Disney Illusion Island. Okay, which this game, we should just not go over this too much, but it looks kind of like Rayman Legends, and
Mm-hmm.
it seems fine. It seems good,
Yeah.
but I haven't heard anyone talk about it.
I've heard one person talk about it, and their basic theme is it's a really like fun wise, it's a good platformer, but so easy it kind of ruins the fun in a lot of ways. So
Oh, okay, so it's like a really kiddie. Okay.
yeah,
Anyways, they got an update.
it's for children. It's so you can play Metroidvania with your children.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
And then we got the Hello Kitty Animal Crossing.
Yep.
Which is one of my friends is into it, or one of our streamer friends, Kiki. She's hella excited about it, but I don't know. I mean, I enjoy Animal Crossing when it's out, but I'm not the type of guy. I'll be into it for like a couple months, and then I'm like, you know.
Yeah. So here's the thing. I was looking this up, and I did get a little worried. So it's made by a company called Sunblink, and looking at their background, they have one other game, and it's a mobile game. It's so
Well, yeah.
that like it seemed like it was okay. It's like a single player League of Legends like.
I think this was originally a mobile game before they're putting it on Switch right now too.
Makes
Like
sense.
so, but I mean, the people that like it. That's the
Yep.
thing. So
And
if
that
this appeals to you at all, I think you're gonna like it.
yeah, and that's the thing. Like it is yeah, I just wanted to give that warning because it's not this isn't a
I
huge
don't think
budget, but it seemed
I
like
don't
as you
think we
said it.
can really hate. I don't think we can really hate on mobile game developers
Yeah.
anymore. There's actually good mobile games
I
nowadays,
yeah.
like that Sonic one recent. They did a Sonic recent.
What I meant by
How
that
was it
is
called?
that like specifically the comment on the game was that it's very like blink pace. Like it's very much something you pick up, you play for 5 minutes, and then you put down. It's like built to be a mobile game. So I'm worried that
Gotcha.
that
So the experience might not lend to longer play times like it does on Switch. Gotcha. Gotcha.
got yes, that's
Well,
what I was trying to get at. And then just the other thing was just one game under their belt can be concerning if you haven't. Yeah,
yeah,
just
yeah,
want to give a little wariness there. So, which is important to
yeah.
know the
No, that's
wariness of the pre of their history when we get to this game, Looney Tunes Wacky World of Sports.
this doesn't even make sense that this is coming out because to me, immediately what I thought was like, is this supposed to be like some Space Jam? Like they're running off the Space Jam hype or something? Like, which is so long ago,
Yep,
you know? But
yep,
it's not even just baseball, right? It's like a bunch
yep,
of.
yep. And here's the thing:
Yeah.
it's made by Game Mill, which is known for making shovelware games.
Oh, really?
Mm-hmm.
Just another one.
Yep. So this basically, I'm really worried. I'm not going to get it. If someone tells me it's good, I'll listen to them, but I ain't taking the risk
Even if
on
it
this.
was good, even if it was good, I don't know. If I wanted like a random sports compilation, I would get Switch Sports. You know, I wouldn't get that. Anyways,
Yeah, Switch
next trash
Sports gets
game.
updates. Most games don't get updates. Switch.
Yeah. And then they announced some Among Us modes, which is exciting for those players. I
Yeah.
played this game once. It's pretty. If you have like a big group of gamer friends, it can be fun. I can see it being fun, but I just get in fights when I play this game. I played it twice and I got triggered so bad. So I don't play this game.
I just
That's not for
remember
me.
the first time you played it, you were like across the room. I just keep hearing, "He's the thief! He's the..." like
Bad
you were
memories.
just like
Bad memories.
screaming through like across the house.
Imposter. It was imposter, but oh my gosh, yeah.
Uh, yeah,
Okay. Anyways, the game triggers me. This game, this to me, all right. This kind of seems like a sleeper hit. What is it called again?
Armagia.
Parmagia, yeah,
Yeah.
Parmagia. Uh, this is kind of crazy. They literally like it was a fast trailer, so it didn't seem like they could talk about everything. But it's like a farming game where you farm and you build monsters. But then it's also a monster RPG kind of game. And then the way they're like using these monsters is like Pikmin, and it also kind of looked like Dynasty Warriors style fighting too. And it's just like, what is going on?
And
Look at this.
so,
'Cause look, yeah.
as I
What
said,
were you
if
gonna
I
say?
wasn't sure about a game, I looked into the developers. Do you know what else these developers made?
No.
Story of
What they make?
Seasons and Rune Factory.
Oh, so
These
now they're going. So no wonder they have to do farming. They've
yeah,
been seeing
these
it forever.
are the guys that Story of Seasons, that's the new name for Harvest Moon, isn't it? Like, if I'm correct?
Yeah, I think. Yeah, so the original Harvest Moon developer, did they change? I don't remember what happened. So I don't know if they changed the name to Story Season, the changed the name of Harvest Moon to Story Seasons, or if the developer of Harvest Moon. No, it is that way. Yeah. So Harvest Moon, the yeah, is now Story of Seasons.
Yeah.
Mhm.
What I'm getting at is that this is like historically these people know how to make farming games and they've been trying their with Rune Factory, they've been trying their hand at RPGs alongside it. So,
Yeah, now they made, which I don't even, the farming part doesn't even seem like a big part of it, to be honest. It's just kind of like,
and that's kind of the weird thing that like how are they going to balance the gameplay loop basically? Like because you can't like I'm picturing like you know how usually you have the girl that's like, "Oh, I always love when you give me strawberries." I'm just thinking like because this is now about combat like, "Oh, another Masticore tale. How thoughtful." Like how are they
yeah, I
going
mean,
to
honestly, I could
uh
see them doing that. Okay, I imagine it maybe it's kind of like a Cult of the Lamb style situation where it's like you kind of have these like dungeons you run and then you come back to the main hub. That's kind of like what they were doing with Rune Factory. You know? I don't know if they, I feel like there's not going to be a it's not going to be like a big town situation. I think it's I'm thinking more cult of the land, but anyways, I'm interested to see more about this
Yeah,
one honestly, just because it seemed like they had to use each second to show a different mechanic, and it was like, well, how many different things can you do in this game?
yeah.
What and how are they?
E-
What?
Exactly. It
Look
looks
at
like there's
this.
more
Nice.
to it than they were able to show, and it
Yeah,
is made by people that are worth paying attention to. That
yeah.
combination
I
tells
mean,
me I'm going to keep an eye on it.
yeah, I enjoyed Rune Factory and Story of Seasons and Harvest Moon, but I mean, honestly, none of them really hit except for that one that everyone loves, Stardew Valley.
Mhm.
Stardew Valley was the one that really got it right, but yeah, exciting.
Yep.
Anyways. Oh, and then one of the most fun games of all time,
Yep.
Donkey Kong Country HD returns. Okay, the one thing that was interesting about this is that I guess the 3DS version had different levels. So
They
then
had
they
additional
put the
levels.
yeah, so they added, and that's cool because
Mhm.
I didn't play the 3DS version. So
Neither have
yeah,
I.
you played this game more than me?
Yeah, I 100% at this game, the original version, which the important thing to know is that it's a lot harder. So in the original version, you have one heart, and then Diddy gives you a second hit. As you
Oh,
can
they
see
have
in the
three in
corner
this
of the
one.
screen, you have three.
Oh
Like,
my gosh, I
I,
didn't realize they made it easier.
yeah,
Uh,
so I will say, I think two was the sweet spot. At three, I'm
Yeah, two
worried.
is for freeze, right? They did
Two is
two
for
for
tropical
tropical
freeze,
freeze.
correct. I
That's
think that
I
was a
remember.
perfect sweet spot. At three, I'm worried you're just going to kind of ignore some obstacles because it's like it doesn't cost you
I
anything to
agree.
take a hit or two.
Yeah, I agree. That's a lot of hearts.
Yeah.
They're
So
always trying to make games easier, more accessible, though.
mhm. Yeah, it's like it's not something I'm against. This is a good game. I'm glad more people are going to have the opportunity to play it. Um, Definitely Donkey Kong Country. I prefer over like the Super Mario Bros. Because they're just able to just like jam pack a lot more challenge and abilities like that into it.
Good one.
And just to see that coming back feels good. I already played it. I'm not sure if I'm going to buy it again just for a bunch more levels. Nostalgically, the HD doesn't make a difference to me. I think Wii looks perfectly fine. A lot of people disagree.
Yeah, I'm not a big like the graphics. As long as they're stylistically good, they're good. Yeah, I agree. Cool that they did it. I love all the remakes. Honestly, I love all the remakes. I know they're doing a ton, and people make fun of them for it. But speaking of remakes,
Mhm.
next one's a remake. Dragon Quest 3, which I'm always stoked for more accessibility for Dragon Quest because, like, especially like the DS ones, which is the only time they remade a lot of them. So hard to get into. I got into Dragon Quest. I actually had 4 before I had 11. Or yeah,
Correct.
11's the most recent, right? Yeah. Before I had 11, but 11's the one that really got me into Dragon Quest. And I haven't gotten back and played 4. I've got so many games to play. But this is sick that they're bringing this back. I'm stoked. I love Dragon Quest. And then bringing 1 and 2 back also. Cool. I'm excited. What do you think?
Yeah, my I already have the note. Let focus at it because
Okay, yeah.
I didn't really play Dragon Quest. My experience with Dragon Quest is Rocket Slime and Dragon Quest Monsters Joker, which are spin-off games. I will say the spin-offs were quality, so the game should be quality too.
Yeah. No, those are good ones too. I love watching you play Rocket Slime. Remember that. Yeah, okay, the only thing is so I played the original Final Fantasy in my life a long time ago, and I would play it all the time. I never beat it. But when you go back to a really old RPG like that, it's like it's barely a game compared to nowadays, you know? It's like
Mhm.
it's almost like you're just it's like playing Dungeons and Dragons by yourself almost. It's like a weird feeling because you're just like doing it's like okay, you know what you're gonna do, you're gonna explore here and there's monsters and you just it's really classic. It's a different kind of gameplay style. So I don't know if I'll probably at least start one and just
Mhm.
kind of check it out, but I don't know if I can finish one. And I've heard two is hard to get through too, which is probably why they didn't
Yeah. They mashed
remake them
one and two
initially.
together. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly, 'cause they're probably very difficult games to actually get through.
Yeah.
Which is crazy that they're remaking them in HD, so, I mean, I wonder what kind of quality of life things they're gonna add to it, because I can't imagine it being playable nowadays.
Uh,
3 looks like a actual game. 4, well, actual game is in it's, like, modernized enough to
yep.
still be playable for an RPG fan, and I have 4 on the DS, so
Yep.
that'll be really cool to just kind of be able to play 1, 2, 3, and then also go back finally play 4. And now I just want to see them like they do with Final Fantasy. I still want to get the cartridge for it. It's like $100, but they have Final Fantasy 1 through 6 on a single um, Switch cartridge. Did you know that?
I did not know that.
Yeah, I didn't know that for a while too. I figured it out like a couple months ago or something. I was like, wait, this came out. Why was this like secret? It's like $100 cartridge, but it has not. It's like kind of a remake. Like they upped the graphics. Um, so it's not NES graphics, but it's Final Fantasy one
It's
through six,
it's
and it's like
the
what?
actual gameplay of it. So like Final
Yeah,
Fantasy
exactly.
One, you make your characters and then just flop, you're in the world.
Yep. Hmm.
Yep.
So yeah. Anyways, excited for this, but also a little worried at the age of it. Oh, and this was cute at the
Yeah,
end of the
this was
episode, being
nice.
like, the game's still good.
Yep.
All right, next game.
Funko Fusion.
This is for the freaking stocks of Funko. I
Yep.
swear. But
Yep.
this, like, who even wants this? Like, what kid even wants to play this? I don't know. What's
My
your take?
only note was I looked at the publisher and they've never made a game before.
Yeah, this literally. I mean, if I was a fun, I have one Funko. I have a snub. Let me grab it. I have a Snubble Funko that I just bought recently, just because like I just did like an interview and I was trying to reward myself for doing something adult, and I was like, I'll just get this Funko thing. That's the only Funko I have, and I'll show it for posterity.
Yeah. No, I don't know. I just never really understood the appeal of this. They're like action figures, but they're not high enough quality to be action figures. I
You just say they're not really action figures, so you
Yeah,
said
like it's low quality action figures so you could actually afford them. Like, is that the I just don't understand the appeal
uh,
of Funko in the first place, so it makes this
they
even more
are
difficult.
literally they just look collectible. You know, it's like whenever a collectible tries to look like a collectible, that makes it bad to me. You know, and that's what I think the appeal is that they look like collectibles. But this is the one I have, and
Nice.
I'm not trying to get any more. I just like seeing Snubble, which is such a random, like it's like they just a random Pokemon, you know, and it's one of my favorite Pokemon. So
I was gonna say, like, just for those who don't know, Focus loves Snubble. Like, he's built
ooh,
Granbull into competitive teams because it's part
uh,
of Snubble, and like that's just so. But like, I still remember Arlo did a video back when they were reducing the Pokédex, and they're like there's ramp. He specifically said there's ramp Pokemon nobody cares about. Like, who cares about Snubble? And I guess
I
like
care, I
you just
care.
made an enemy for life, Arlo. You just
Damn puppet. No, but yeah, exactly. This has no appeal. I don't get it. It's just for Funko stocks. Do
yeah.
you have any? Yeah.
Yep.
Anyways, Luigi's Mansion 2 HD.
Yep.
I love Luigi's Mansion 3. Finished that one. I have 2 and 1. I got 1 recently for the GameCube, I actually have it, and I have number 2 also. I couldn't get through it because the problem with this is it's like every in Luigi's Mansion 3, every level is like a floor of this hotel, and you're like going through this hotel, and you can always go back to the other floors, and you're kind of returning to a hub world. You're returning to EGAD's laboratory and like upping your what's the word,
Um,
traversal capabilities and like all the different abilities you have for exploring, and it makes it really fun. In Luigi's Mansion 2, it's like every level is its own mansion, and then I don't remember there being any environmental exploratory progression, like because it's kind of Metroidvania where you're supposed to get different things to progress you through different areas of the mansion or of the in the third one it was the giant bell. But in number 2, there wasn't anything like that. It was just each level was still its own unique set piece, which was pretty cool. Which, if that appeals to you, then that'll get you for this one. But I couldn't get through it because of that, and I still want to play one. But Luigi's Mansion, it's always cool to have that around.
yep.
What are your thoughts?
I feel like this was, if I remember correctly, they showed this like a direct or two ago, and
Oh yeah, mm,
this felt more like the reminder of, hey, it's almost out. In case you're wondering, this releases on June 27th. So by the time
yeah,
this
you're
video
right.
comes out, it's probably by the time anyone's watching this, it's probably already out if you want to go check it out.
Hopefully, I'll get it out before then the podcast. But yeah, you're right. You're right.
Yep.
Yeah, and yeah, I agree. It's just kind of reminding me. So, and then this weird game. So I guess this was a mobile game, and now they're just remake. They're making a new version of it for. I don't get
I,
it.
it
What's
was on the
from?
3DS, if I'm correct, and it
Oh,
had
what?
it
Okay,
had Street Pass
I tried to
capabilities,
look it up.
if I'm correct. Um,
Okay, it does. Okay, did you actually look that up? Because it does look a lot like
I didn't.
the 3D.
I
You
will
didn't
be
look it
honest,
up.
I
Okay,
did not look it up. I just assumed so
no,
certainly that.
no, it's not. That's the thing. It looks just like that game, though. It's
Mhm.
not because there is like a thing where they put like your me
Yep.
faces. on little guys that look just like this, and you like street pass and you can do different RPGs. No, it's not that. That's what I thought too. I was like, oh, is it that game? No, this is a completely different game. Isn't that crazy? But yeah, it
Yeah,
looks just like that.
it looks just like it.
Because the only thing I could find was it was a mobile game in 2017.
Got it. I mean, then it's a mobile game, which is usually fine for a mobile game. Like, as we say, there's a difference. It's not that mobile games are bad, it's that they're more like pick it up, put it down experiences. It's not like good for lasting gameplay
Like
usually.
quick play, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, not
So,
excited, don't care. Next,
unfortunately.
this game. I was kind of like, oh, cool, because Metal Slug, I always associate Metal Slug with me and you playing it at the arcade or on one of those Xbox
Yeah.
arcade
I bought
things.
Metal Slug 2 on the Wii store, and like
Okay, that was it. Yeah.
one of the themes was the game, it doesn't set, you don't just press the start button to respawn. Every time you start the game, you have like you basically have $1 worth of credits, and you have to just see how far you can get on that dollar. And
Okay,
I still
that's
remember
another thing.
working my way and getting better and better till I actually beat the game. And I felt so proud of myself.
That's
Um,
sick.
but
Yeah,
like that, the thing
that's
is, that's Metal Slug. One of the things that I didn't know as I was researching this, it's already out on Steam. This game is
oh,
already released. Um,
there actually is a lot of ports they announced this
yeah.
direct.
Um,
And this is weird. It's like a tower defense
yeah.
2D, and this
So,
doesn't even look
and
fun to
that's the
me.
thing. It's not even tower defense. If you remember back when we were playing, what are they called? Those flash games on computers, Age of
Mhm.
War. Like there, it's like you basically have towers, and you just like spawn units from the towers who walk forward towards the enemy. It's not even like,
That's all this is. I mean,
yeah,
that's tower defense, I
yeah.
guess, but the typical tower defense is the top down with the
Yeah,
different.
where there's
But that's
waves that you're
real
defending
tower.
against. This is I'm facing another person. The reviews I've been reading are basically like love the people that love the nostalgia, love this game, but that's the appeal. It's nostalgia. As a game,
Yeah,
it's just a tower defense. It's one of those weird war stuff, Age of War defense games.
yeah, not into it. Not gonna get it. But okay, Metal Slug. Again, this is another one that's out in a lot of different
Yep,
places.
it's been on Steam for over a year.
Have you ever
So
played this game?
I have
Either
played
one or two?
Darkest Dungeon, not Darkest Dungeon 2.
I
Um,
heard number two is not as good.
Yeah,
That's what I've heard.
basically the statement I've heard is Darkest Dungeon was a difficult RPG, and this one's a roguelike, which is, just different gameplay style. It's like
Yeah.
one of the themes is that the big scary theme is because Darkest Dungeon is an RPG where if a character dies, they're dead for good. It's terrifying to lose a character. Given that this is a roguelike,
Oh,
death is inevitable, you'll restart the run later. So the tension of life and death isn't as tense. In 2 hours, the run's over anyways.
yeah, the dungeon doesn't seem as dark.
Basically.
Anyways, that's a port. Who cares? This is sick. The freaking online expansion pack. Holy crap. Like
Mm,
I love whenever they add games and they added Four Swords, which I want to do with four people. I
yeah,
want to link up and do the Four Swords adventure. That'd be
yeah,
so dope.
yeah.
And then they
Anytime you
also
have an old multiplayer game online now, like that's always fun. That's always good.
yeah, that's it.
We're
And then I've been playing through this on stream, Metroid Zero Mission. And this game's actually really fun. Like the pacing of it is so good. And this is a remake of the first game, right? It's like
Mhm,
they remade it and then added it. Dude, there's stuff that happens because I haven't even got because they added the whole zero suit portion, which
correct.
I haven't even yeah, I haven't even gotten to it yet. And the whole game, the pacing and the way they do little checkpoints and like all, it like does not even feel like the first game at
Good.
all. And I'm like, because I played the first game for a minute, and you had to remember. I was talking about this on stream. You had to remember the whole map,
Yeah.
right, in your
So
head.
I beat the original Metroid without any notes. The only note was because it was on the Wii, I could pause it so that I didn't have to save all of the passcodes. That was the only benefit I had. I had to beat the game without
Right,
notes.
you had like a single save state
Yeah.
kind of, but you didn't like save state break it.
Yeah,
You
I
just
didn't
okay.
save abuse. I only saved at the save stations. But like basically it just means when I restart the game, I don't have to type in a huge code to get all my abilities back. But yeah, I
That's all.
memorized the map, which note back then they didn't have any visual distinction for some of those passageways. So you
Like
just had to memorize, go up, then go to section the fourth door on the right, go two corridors down, up two more, door on the left.
That's crazy. Yeah,
Secret block
because
here, pop open. This is how you get the freeze beam because you can't have both the freeze beam and the wave beam at the same time. So you when you picked up one, you lose the
oh,
other, and you have to go back
so
to
you had to
get it,
switch.
and you'd have
Oh
to
my
go back
gosh.
to get it. So you might be like, all right. I specifically remember I faced Kraid. I couldn't freeze him, so I realized just as attack patterns, I need to get the wave beam. I need to go 2 dungeons down this way to go grab the wave beam, and then come back, beat Kraid, then go 3 dungeons that way to get the ice beam back.
Okay, yeah, we're not doing that anymore.
Do
Yeah,
not
this
play the
game's very
original
fun.
Metroid. Play Zero Mission.
Yeah, play Zero Mission. Play the original Metroid if you just want to remember what games used to be shitty.
Basically. But
And then this is funny.
one thing you skipped over because it's amazing that people have access to Legend of Zelda or to Metroid Zero Mission. But also, this isn't just for Source. This isn't just the online experience. This is also everyone now has access to Link to the Past, one of the best Legend of Zelda games.
I mean,
Hmm?
I mean they had it on the other NSO parts, so
Oh,
because
okay.
NSO, yeah,
Ignore
Nintendo
me.
Switch, and Nintendo Switch Online already had it on the SNES part, but now you can play the Game Boy Advance version of it, which might have some. But yeah,
Ignore
I
me.
actually I played through um I played through Link to the Past on the SNES thing actually. Yeah, anyways, and they also now they have a mature thing, and I know they did this in Japan for when GoldenEye came out, but now they just decided America gets it too, but not for GoldenEye, just for Turok and Perfect Dark. It's like,
Mhm.
okay, whatever.
Yep.
But I literally didn't think the games came out. That's why I started Zero Mission first. I was actually going to start Turok because I didn't realize because I like opened my N64 app and I'm like, oh, it's not on there. You literally have to download a whole new app, which is fun. But I heard the Perfect Dark emulation is trash. I don't have any first-hand
Yeah.
experience on that.
Unfortunately,
Turok? Yeah, go for
when these games came out, we were not 17 yet, so our parents did not let
it.
us
Yeah.
play them.
I don't think we would have wanted to
No,
anyways, just because the kind of kids we were. But
yeah, the
yeah,
kinds of
this was
kids we
not
were,
a
we
fun.
did not even like GoldenEye. I liked it so I could run
I
around
remember.
and dodge bullets because it was hard to focus fire. I remember I
Yeah.
liked the paintball mode and just like I would shoot the wall to make a decoration, not to actually fight anyone.
Yeah, I remember that actually. I was shooting the walls. I was like, because I was that was insane back then. I was like, whoa, the bullet holes are actually in the walls. Crazy. But yeah, anyways, I don't really care about these games. I want to try them out, especially since the Perfect Dark got an announcement on the Xbox showcase thing too. But I did play Turok for a little bit, and I have Turok on the actual N64, and it's garbage. It wasn't fun. I don't remember it being fun. But some people have such good memories or like really hype up that game. So there
Yeah.
it is.
The important part is if this is your nostalgia, congratulations, it's yours once more. Our nostalgia's on the left side of the screen.
Yeah, this wasn't.
Yeah.
All right, in this game, so this is another. It's like a tactics RPG, Phantom Brave: The Last Hero. It
Mhm.
seems this is another one of those where I'm like, I glossed over it when I was first watching it, but it's like it actually looks like a pretty good tactics RPG. I'm not into the chibi style,
Yeah.
and the story seems a little too anime for me. But go ahead and give your thoughts.
Yep. So, anyways, I researched this. So, this is actually the second game of the Phantom Brave franchise. The first game was
Okay.
released all the way back on PlayStation 2. And
Oh
people,
wow,
yeah,
what the heck?
and people said that this game, like, basically the only reason it wasn't the best tactics game was because Final Fantasy Tactics came out at the same time. Like, that's why, but like, people were comparing the two, and it was like, there's a reason some people still played this one, just to get a sense, like,
Yeah.
so, I might do it later, but apparently there's a demo for the original game just for free on Steam. So if you ever want to
Oh,
see
nice.
if you would like it, that demo is available for you to go check out. Um,
Good to
but as you
know.
were saying, as for the anime style theme, this is from the Sega franchise, which is basically um anime that goes so hard on the anime it becomes comedy, and that's their stick. Um,
Oh,
that
okay.
and
Okay, because
Phantom
it was
Brave
going really
yeah,
hard.
and
Yeah.
Phantom Brave is well known for just going way too hard on the melodrama. Like literally, like here's a cute little girl that did nothing wrong. Let's make her life living hell.
I mean, that was one of my. I wasn't even going to mention this, but since you said it like that, like one of the things that was the problem for, well, not the problem, but like threw me off was like how many like the squeaky anime voices they do in this trailer, and they're just like in pain and like I will save you, and they do the anime shit. Like, a little too much. But okay, if they're going for like campy almost, if they're doing like campy anime,
Yeah.
that's fine.
No, the franchise is known for being unreasonably campy. Like that's the point. So if
Okay,
you gotta make sure you're prepared for that. All right,
that's cool.
take you for a ride. Marvel vs.
Oh,
Capcom Fighting Collection Arcade Classics, or as I like to call it,
this-
Marvel vs. Capcom 2 with some random add-ons with it.
really though, that's honestly it. Because yeah, Marvel vs. Capcom 2 is like the main one here. But what was that one? It was X-Men versus Street Fighter. I didn't know they did a specific X-Men one. But
Yep,
yeah, that's sick.
yep,
And then they have some random Punisher beat 'em up. Yeah, the Punisher.
yeah. I,
But yeah, this is cool. Oh yeah, let's look at them. Okay. Yeah. And another Marvel. This is Marvel vs. Capcom. That must be the first one.
yep.
And then the second one.
Just the
And
random Marvel
then
superheroes, all of them.
yeah,
Play as Plastic Man.
these are probably beat 'em ups.
Yep,
I think these are beat 'em
probably.
ups.
Yep. So
And
yeah,
then
it's a
there's a
beat 'em
Marvel.
up with Marvel vs. Capcom 2. So I
Yeah,
want
this
to talk
is a
about
sick collection.
yeah. So I
Go ahead.
want to talk about why it's so important that Marvel vs. Capcom 2 came out. Like, I have a person that I watched that called Maximilian, dude, who is part of the fighting game community. This showed up, and he just started screaming. He did not take in the rest of the entire direct because he was freaking out because Marvel vs. Capcom 2. So just to explain, the last time Marvel vs. Capcom isn't really remade. People when they play it, they're playing on emulators for the Dreamcast version of the game. That's how long
Wait,
ago hmm?
this wasn't on WiiWare
This
or
was,
Wii Virtual
as far as I
Console?
know, it wasn't on most of those things. It could, I didn't check that. All I know is I was looking for ways to play it online, and a lot of people say, well, you have to use this emulator. You have to use this emulator.
Oh,
Official
real quick.
wise, as far as I know, there wasn't an online way to do it, and people use the Dreamcast version at Evo, which I want to state something. This Marvel vs. Capcom 2 is still showing up at the Evolution fighting game tournaments, which is the biggest fighting game tournament in the world. It's still showing up there, even though it's this old game. They still have to play it on the Dreamcast, if I'm correct. This is them
That's
remaking it, and this is the first time, as far as I know, officially, they're making it with the training mode and online PvP, just like it as part of the game.
that's so sick.
Which, you know,
They never had official online PvP for Marvel vs. Capcom
they
2.
had it, of course, because people emulate and people absolutely love this game. But now it's all completely official. I don't have to hack anything. I don't have to jury rig or know how modifications work and emulations. It's just I bought the game, here it is.
That's so sick.
So
By the way, it kind of stopped, but is your fan louder all of a sudden, or it was while you were ranting, it kind of was turning on, or I could hear it more.
it's not that straight on. My filter isn't perfect.
Yeah, it probably like increases as your volume increases, and then the fan kind of gets.
Good
So you
to
can tell
know.
me yelling
I
at
will turn it down
me.
one thing. I'll be back.
Okay, it honestly didn't deter them. Yes, for me, the beat. I mean, I'd be down to like re-explore some of these old beat 'em ups or something. And I always like learning a fighting game. I was just saying, like, it's always fun to learn a fighting game. These beat 'em ups would be good to explore.
Yep.
And that's all I have to say on it. It's
Yep.
mostly a you thing. I mean, like we've always played the fighting games together.
Mm-hmm.
It's talking to them, but you're always the master at them
Yeah.
for sure.
It's yeah, definitely. I'm not as big on Marvel vs. Capcom 2, but the people that are, I just want to say this is like a sign from God. This was something like for me, you and me, this isn't much. For them, this was something else. And like
That's cool. That's
really good
exciting.
for them. Really happy for them.
All right, and next we got this might be my favorite part of the direct over like everyone already knows there's Zelda, but honestly, this got me stoked. I love Mario Party. I played it on stream last night, the superstars we can do online. And dude, I just love Mario Party. I don't know what it is, but because like I think for me, it's because Mario Party is literally all about it's the one game that's like a competitive game, but it's all about fun. Because like
Mhm.
I mean, a lot of people critique it for this. It's like, oh, it ruins friendships. I mean, it ruins
Ruins
those people
bad
that are
friendships.
competitive. Oh, yeah, it doesn't actually ruin friendships. But what I'm saying is that it for people that are competitive at games, like you're not gonna like it, and that's where like it ruins friendships because people get competitive and then they end up losing, and it doesn't feel like they actually they really had a way to defend themselves from losing because it's like all random and just kind of bullshit, you know?
Yeah.
And so they get like pissed about that. And but if you're like me, who I'll play a game like this and I don't give a fuck. I'm just like, oh whatever, let's just have fun. And I win most of the time because of that, I feel. But um it's like it's just really fun and like it's a game that's designed for like randomness and just um like there's still skill involved, but it's like just the right amount of skill for a fun multiplayer game. I just love the Mario Party so much.
One of the things I remember as a child was basically this was the one of the first games that I was able to convince my mom to play with me whenever there was nothing to do because I wanted to just play a game with someone, and
Oh,
she
that's
could
cool.
actually and mom could actually win because of the random chance elements without it feeling like I gave her the win. Also, she is a better button masher than me, which annoys me, but like
What is she? That's
yeah,
crazy.
she
I think
could,
your mom was a
but
button
she
masher.
actually could like hit the A button faster than I could. I'm just like, what's wrong with me? Because I know I always lose those games online, but like, seriously, even mom.
Mom's got those. Well, she's got those Pac-Man, the Pac-Man
Oh
skills where she
right, mom
learns
used to
Pac.
play Pac-Man like crazy. I forgot
But I
about that.
mean, that has nothing to do with button mashing, but she does have a random video game skill in her back
Yeah.
pocket, yeah.
Um.
But yeah, this okay, to speak on the new one specifically, this one looks pretty cool. One thing I want to mention that kind of made me it didn't make me mad. I was just like, what the fuck are they doing? They added the two oh, that's the Zelda. They added two of the new courses are remakes of the old ones. Yeah, see those
Mhm,
they by the way, I think the most courses ever in a Mario Party is 8 courses from the first game.
mhm.
So already having 7 courses is amazing that they have
Well,
7 courses.
agreed.
And they said they're gonna have over 110 mini games, which is the most they've ever had. I think 100 mini games in Superstars is the
Correct.
most
I think
recent, and
100
like
is the maximum we've seen. So.
yeah, and that's a lot, and that makes it feel like just yesterday. I don't remember. I don't know if you remember this from stream last night, but I was playing and I came across a mini game where I'm like, I don't remember this mini game at all, or
Oh
like I
right, the
only played
Bullet
this
Bill
mini
Mayhem
game.
one.
Yeah, like I think I only played that, and then I afterwards was like, okay, I definitely played it. Like I played them all, you know, but like I must have only played that one or two times. Whereas like all the other mini games you just come across, and when there's so many mini games, it makes it so fun to just have instances like that happen.
Uh huh.
But I just wanted to say that because there's 7 stages, there's a ton of mini games, and a ton of characters to choose from. So that already makes it seem like a winner
Yeah.
of a Mario Party game. But it still kind of annoys me that they didn't just put these two courses as DLC for Superstars. I was like, what do you? You just had
Yeah.
these, and
No,
everyone wanted DLC, but
no, it was more important we get basketball.
it's more important than basketball. Yeah,
Um.
but yeah, these are really two really good additions.
And
I just
on
put
that, I actually
oh,
paused when we get to the boards. I paused the stream there and took some time to map it out. Um, but the Mario Party one board is almost entirely faithful to the original Mario Party. The exact amount of spaces. The only thing is
really?
some blue spaces became lucky spaces. Like it's almost perfectly faithful. Um,
That's awesome.
and I'm
Because that was a good
assuming
board. Okay, I guess you look here.
yeah. The Wiggler it has this guy that you actually there's spaces on Wiggler's back, and so you know the question marks are gonna make him
Mm,
move around. Um,
that's cool. And then they got a raceway. I
yeah,
always love the new I like it if they have at least like 3 traditional boards and then they can
mm,
do weird stuff with the other ones, but
yeah. And I
you
like
didn't want to
I
okay.
like the Grand Escape Bowser's Keep. It looks I like was looking at it, and it looks like it's just one path, and you're trying to get to the end without getting crushed by Bowser, and then you just go back to the
Oh,
start.
that's really reminiscent of the very first Bowser stage from Mario Party 1 where it's just like a mountain you climb up and that's like the whole thing, you
Mhm.
know?
But yeah, if you look at it, it's like an entrance walkway, and then you choose do I go left or right, and then it's like you go
And
over here. There's like over on the left side, you can see some bullet bill hazards that has like a few choice paths. Like
dude, this looks like a sick board. I
uh-huh.
love this.
And
And
then
the board all the boards look awesome, honestly.
yeah, and that's the thing. Like they all like appeal to certain things that were my favorite board at some stage for some reason.
Like a
And
multi-level board like the Rainbow Galleria down here. Like I just remember whatever Mario Party had the big tree board where there was actually the GameCube Mario parties had a lot of multi-level boards.
mhm.
And seeing that in this one again is really cool.
Yep. And the only thing, one of the things I love, the one change they made to the original Mario Party board that I saw is they just added verticality to the cloud, to Mario's Cloud Kingdom. Like, look at
Oh,
that.
is this where you're looking at it?
Yeah. But if you look at it,
Oh,
it's like the
wow. Yeah,
pathing.
it goes up and you have a double path and you have a double path and you right to the start. Yeah.
Yep. And even the
Such a
Bowser at the
solid
very end
board.
to just mess you up at the very, if you roll by one. Like,
Right. If it rotates to the wrong Bowser, yeah.
Yeah,
Because it would rotate between Bowser and
yeah.
Toad. And then yeah, this board we were talking about this on stream too. This board's really fun because it's like you can go the safe route, just go into town, but then you can go this way with the train. And oh, I don't even think making it over to this side of the board because you start if it's like the original, you start like I don't even this part is new on this side, but I think you would start back here somewhere
Yeah. No, I think
and you would just
literally
go this
that rock right there is the starting point. The very bottom
yeah.
rock. You could see a little
Oh, this
arrow
one right here.
sign.
This one.
Yep. You see arrow sign to the right. That's the starting point.
Oh yeah. So you would start here. These I still think these are new. But yeah, and you would go here. Like you would never make it over here because the train would
Yeah.
always
Or
destroy
someone
you.
would just say, "Everyone gets milk," and we all show up at the top
Oh
left
yeah,
corner.
that's right. Oh, yeah, there's like a shop up here that you can buy a thing and make everyone come. Yeah, this board is a lot of chaos too. It's a fun
Yep.
one.
But
And then Mario's Room Castle is just basic. What were you saying?
here's the thing. I was looking at all the boards. Like Western Land, I think was the biggest board in Mario Party 2, and all of the boards
Oh,
look notably large. The only way large makes sense if there's enough turns to get around it. I'm really hopeful that we're going to move to the standard being 20 turns again.
but they just make them fast because I thought they really nailed it with 15 because of like the speed of the game. If they could do 20 but make it feel faster, that'd be sick.
All right.
Because I agree, it's like I agree though that the longer Mario Party games feel more, I want to say like fulfilling. You know what I mean? It's
Mm-hmm.
like, man, there's like actually stuff you can do, and like you can actually get to like 150 coins or something. I mean, you still can in the 15 turn games if you're lucky, but
I
yeah,
just
something
roll
about
too many
15 turns.
ones and I get tired of the game ending before, like, as I'm walking up to the store, crawling, crawling. All right, game's over. Stop.
Yeah, that can be unfortunate. That can be unfortunate. But yeah, yeah. So I'm excited for this. Another thing though, it's almost like they're bringing Mario Party 99 into the mix because they're doing the whole 20 player Mario Party, and all the mini games are there's like so many people. There's like 10 players in that mini game,
Mm-hmm.
and okay, some people hate on the gyro and motion control mini games. I feel like it's fine.
Yeah.
Like it's just a mini game, anyways. I don't know.
Yeah.
I've
Oh,
never had a problem with the motion control.
and that's the point. You and I just kind of deal with the fact, like, okay, this is a mini game that this person wins instead of us. Like, that's the nature of the random elements.
Yeah, I think a lot of it is because there's kind of like the main gamer populace who's like I don't want to say they're competitive, but they're logically oriented with how the mechanics of the game should work, right?
Mm-hmm.
They're very like, okay, the best quote unquote way to design a game is like my input to the controller leads to a specific output in the game. And like in Mario Party, your input, your interactions sometimes lead to a bunch of random stuff or like not exactly what you want, which like totally for the like I wanna say the loudest, 'cause it's I don't know, nowadays, I wouldn't even say it's main any maybe the oldest and the most prominent, uh, niche of gamers are the ones that are like, "It needs to be you hit this, and this happens, or if I master this skill, then I'm gonna be best at this," but Mario Party just throws it out the window, and I think part of that is the motion control games, and yeah, I don't care about that.
Yep. Um, One thing was just like I did want to give a little warning with a Coupathlon. Looking at it, it looks like you don't do turns among 20 players. It looks like it's just you play solo mini games. Depending on how well you do, is how many spaces you move forward. Which,
Yeah, and with me saying that, I still hope they somehow manage to make these games fun and not like so out of your control, so crazy with the online lag or just some bullshit mechanic that it's not fun. Because I feel Mario Party rides that line really well though, where it's like,
mhm.
yeah,
Either way, we're buying Mario Party Jamboree. That's
oh yeah,
happening. Like,
it's. I think we own every single one, right? We own every single one. I even have Mario Party because we lost all of our advanced games in the great
mhm.
lost whatever happened. But I did buy it on Wii U before the shop went down, so we have Mario Party Advanced on that. I think the only one which I saw at a store and I should have got it that I didn't get was the 100 minigame one
The 100
because I did
minigame
recently.
collection, which I don't. I just feel like that's not a Mario Party game because it's. Does it even have
Nah,
boards?
that's no, it's literally for the niche of gamers I was just talking about because there's a lot of people that love that one, but it's because it's like more skill based.
Yep.
It's just mini games, and it's like you're just playing mini games against people, and it's more skill based. But yeah, it's not Mario Party to me either. Like that's not Mario Party.
Yep.
Sorry, but
Like
We have every single Mario Party besides
when Mario Party Advance is more Mario Party than that.
that. Mario Party Advance was weird. It's just like a single player campaign with like
Yeah, it's
you roll
something
and
else.
it's Advance is not. It's so weird. I want to do a video in that game just because it's like, what are we even doing? But yeah, I'm excited for this. I'm excited for the new modes. Um,
Mhm.
excited to play with you.
Heck
Anyways,
yeah.
anything else you want to say?
Nah, just can't wait. We're buying it.
Can't
It
wait.
comes out October
Me
17th.
Oh, this year. I didn't realize. Speaking of can't wait.
Yep. Here we go.
The
Start.
Legend of Link.
Yep.
Everyone said that a million times.
Of course, everyone
Anyways.
has. I love how it starts by like showing that you just beat A Link to the Past. Like that really gives you this.
Ah, that's a good call. That's basically what it's showing. Yeah, because yeah, I didn't know what it was doing at first. I was like, the way it had the same art style, it did immediately to me give the vibe of some sort of spin-off game. Like it didn't feel like it was going to be a main one. I was like, I mean, this. I feel like this is still going to be considered mainline though. I don't think this is going to be spin-off.
Mhm.
But honestly, this is why I'm like more excited for Mario Parties because I know what to expect. With this, I don't really know what to expect, but I love I love Link's Awakening. That was a good game. This is like the same art style. And okay, here's the thing of also why I think I was less excited for it is because I'm in the mood just for just want a traditional Zelda again, to be honest. Because we have Breath of the Wild, we have Tears of the Kingdom, and now they're doing this, which is sick too. But I don't know. I'm just in the mood, like as a Zelda fan, wearing a Zelda shirt on this podcast. I'm like I'm ready for a traditional Zelda. Like you know what I mean? Like that's
Yeah.
just what I want.
Yeah. This
And
is
but this still
another.
looks fun.
Yeah. Exactly. It looks fun. It's a neat. I really like the gimmick that they're going with, but again,
Yeah.
it's the gimmick is so powerful. You don't even have a sword.
hmm Yeah. So they're going like that's why it almost feels like a side game too, because it's like they're really going like, oh yeah, no sword. Like, so is there even going to be dungeons? Like, how is it going to work? But yeah, it's exciting. It's Zelda, and there is some cool cameos I wanted to point out. I don't even know if you'd call them cameos technically, but I saw the Deku
Yeah.
trader from Majora's Mask is in here.
Yeah.
Pops up around here soon. Yeah, look at this.
Yeah. That trader. In a few seconds, we're going to see an Impa master. Like that's an Impa. If you look at the fighting.
Where's the,
What?
oh, before that,
Yeah, where it
before
was
this.
he was taking out the guards just a second ago.
Oh yeah, crawling over the trees,
Yeah,
turning up this thing.
yeah, that's an Octorok. And
This almost gives me. You're talking about this?
just one more scene.
Ah,
That's an
okay.
Impa. Like you can see the like
Ah.
full ponytail hair and all that. So
Wait, I think Impa's the name of it. Yeah, Impa's the name of a specific character.
oh, so it's a
That is
Sheikah.
Impa? Ashika, yeah, yeah. I
There
was
we are.
like, wait, Zelda brain going off. That is,
Yeah,
but yeah, yeah. So, could be Impa.
my
Uh,
Zelda gets its knowledge from the person with Zelda brain.
yeah, but this is cool too. Showing, I like
Yeah.
the Zora design. It's almost like N64 Zoras mixed with Breath of the Wild Zoras. Pretty
Also, I
cool.
love what this could mean because this looks like it's a negotiation between two of the water tribes that Zelda has to like resolve. So it's not a
Oh wait,
combat based encounter, it's a wisdom based encounter.
true. I didn't even think about that. And I just realized this is the Link to the Past Zoras, and then these are more like the Breath of the Wild Ocarina of Time Zoras.
Mhm.
So is there gonna be some like time travel or like universe shifting stuff going
Oh
on? I
my
don't
gosh,
know.
is that the rampway
And then
for
he's
Lord Jabu Jabu?
oh yeah, is it? Kind of looked like it.
Yeah,
Yeah, so I'm gonna be like as a Zelda fan excited for all those references and stuff.
yeah.
And then there's I kind of like what Nintendo's doing where they really take the spirit of like what femininity is as a I don't know, like if you're just thinking the spectrum of like stuff, it's like there's femininity and masculinity. And the feminine like spirit is like it's one that includes things and then is able to multiply it, whereas the masculine is asserting itself. Or the masculine spirit asserts itself. And so this is really like taking part of the feminine spirit and saying, oh, I'm including all these different objects as part of myself so that I creatively put them out into the world and do different things with it. So I really like how they did stuck to those kind of I don't want to say stuck to those principles, but like emulated that spirit of making it like a feminine game. Because I think a lot of like what we do with like trying to open up more spaces for females is we'll like just make them do masculine things. We're like, oh, it's a girl, but now she can do what men are supposed to only be able to do or whatever. It's like that. I think that's good too. That's good too that we're doing that, showing that oh, all genders can participate in all spectrum of the masculine, feminine. But it's nice to see them actually represent the feminine stuff too. 'Cause it's like, oh, it's not a female doing masculine stuff. It's a female doing
This
feminine stuff.
isn't female Link. This is Zelda. This is
Yeah, it
specifically
was Zelda.
Zelda.
That's a good way to put it. It's like, no, this is really Zelda. And that part I'm excited for. And dude, I love the old every time I see an old character pop up or like even in when they just have like the little Zelda references, it always get me back. So I'm excited. And this is cool to see him. Yeah.
Yep.
Anyways, I don't have much more to say on this. I
Yep.
think I'm glad Mario Party's coming out soon. Maybe if this was coming out sooner, I'd be more excited. I
It's
just for some reason
coming
I
out
think it's
before the Mario Party.
what?
Yeah. According to my notes, Super Mario Party comes out on October 17th. This Legend of Zelda comes out on September 22nd or 26th.
No, that's the Switch. The Switch comes out.
Are we sure they don't come out at the same time?
Oh, it is the same time. Oh my god, really? Oh, so this comes out really soon.
Yeah.
That's crazy. Dude, that's crazy Nintendo does this. They just, like, announce a game like this. Well, that makes me almost feel like it's gonna be a spin-off-y more than
Oh yeah, because we didn't get much lead up for it.
we'll
Huh.
see, we'll
Yeah.
see. I mean, it'll still be fun no matter what, but I'm almost getting, Triforce Heroes vibes from it.
I
That's
get what
kinda
you're
my thing.
saying then. Yeah.
Yeah, but it's
Um.
almost not gonna be a full game, but we'll see.
Yeah. All right.
Anyways, the next thing, Just Dance, let's just skip over that.
Basically,
Lego
uh,
Horizon
40
okay,
new
yeah,
tracks because 40 is a big group of songs, and I
right.
recognize one of them that I wouldn't exactly want to dance to myself. But okay. So
Anyways, we got Lego Horizons. This is interesting. It's a Sony exclusive, not anymore. IP. It's a Sony IP that's on Nintendo. And the only reason I can see them doing this is because they know the Switch is going to have all of the youth on it, right? So they're trying to stick those IPs into the youth's heads before they grow up and because it is I feel like there's a transition in gamers' lives where it's like you started as a kid
mhm.
and you kind of get the games that your parents buy you and you can obviously like have input be like mom I want this or dad I want this and you kind of just get what you get and then you get older and I think a lot of kids I wasn't one of them I don't think you were either you kind of went to the PC route and I feel like you become an adult gamer and you kind of choose your route. You're like, all right, what am I going to play now? And a lot of people switch to PlayStation because they like the edginess of it, or they go through a teenage phase. And anyways, they're getting the youth with the putting this on the Switch. What do you want to say?
And yeah, the first is I would say is yeah, you start as a kid and you're getting what your parents trust to be a good game. So and like Lego is a very trustworthy source. Even
Yep.
if it's like of a serious theme, they add the comedy element to it. Um, and then as you were talking, my theme was teenage years. I'd say transitioned to I actually want to try out these weird super long RPGs because I want to spend my
Ah,
time
yeah.
sinking into games. So I stuck with the
I was,
Wii,
get-
but I play like Xenoblade Chronicles.
I was gonna say that still to me is a Wii fan. Yeah, it's you went more like anime PC gamer kind of
PC
playing.
was later on in life.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Mm.
Um,
Um, But one thing that I
that's
know, one thing I'm kind of interested in seeing how they do. So Horizon Zero Dawn and that franchise, a big element of
uh-huh.
that is grabbing elements in the world and crafting the item you need to face your enemy. Um,
Oh, perfect for
s-
Lego.
yeah, exactly. I'm interested in how Lego does that. You could see them just wielding these really wacky weapons to face their opponents. I'm just like, I'm
Oh
really
yeah.
interested in how that transition,
Oh
like,
yeah.
because I didn't think Horizon was such a big franchise to deserve Lego treatment, but it's like it's perfectly built for it. So I'm I'm
Yeah, I'm not
intrigued.
sure. Yeah, I'm not sure, like, how popular it's actually it's definitely not in our circles, like, we don't hear about it, but it
Yeah.
seems like it's actually a pretty big series then. I don't know. Yeah, I'm intrigued too.
They have two games,
Anyway,
so yeah, it's weird. All right,
okay, we can just swoop by this
yeah.
because yeah, Stray's on Switch now. I did
It's
not from what I saw, I don't know how this ended up on Game of the Year, nominations, but
it
whatever.
it's
It's a
something
bad
about
game.
it's more. I feel like it's more of a cinema nomination than a game nomination.
That might be why, yeah,
Yep,
because it's like, oh, it's so cinematic and vibey, and like I
yep,
guess I don't
yep.
know. I've
But
seen I've seen better cinematic vibey games that year though.
yep. Anyways, it got
This is
released on
like
Steam on 2022. So
in 19 no yeah 2 years ago. Okay, anyway,
sorry, we're not
it
that
wasn't a
old yet. All right.
this is it's like a Hobbit or like a Lord of the Rings Animal Crossing. My girlfriend's into Lord of the Rings and she was interested in it, but I mean,
Yep.
what do you think it is?
Yeah, I just didn't know. I kept laughing at the fact that it's called the Lord of the Rings. So double article. It's like,
Right. Oh, Tales of the Shard, the Lord of the Rings game. Yeah,
yeah.
that's funny.
Um,
Don't
I,
care.
I
I don't
don't
care.
know. I will say it's like apparently the developer is new, but the publisher has done things like Ollie Ollie World and Penny's Big Breakaway. So they're
Oh,
like the publisher's trustworthy. The developer, this is their first game. So
well, publisher. Hopefully they chose a good one.
yeah, I'll give
Available
like
this holiday.
yeah. It's not really something I'm invested in, so people that enjoy it, give it your shot. Not gonna be me.
Not gonna be me.
All
All
right.
right, and
Ace
now Phoenix
Attorney
Attorney.
Investigations Collection. So
So these are remakes from DS games that never made their way over to America, which is pretty cool. But
yeah.
what do you have to say?
Basically I have some so I do not myself play these games, but I have friends that do. And one of the big themes is these are basically like story-based games. That's just like you finish the game, it's like, where's the next one? Where's the next one?
Oh,
Because
they're like addicting. They're really good.
yeah, they're good, but it's like you can't play it twice because then you've solved the puzzle, you know?
Ah,
So it's all every time you get a new one, it's like I got this awesome theme that I can do. I can do another one of these well-built puzzle room games and just solve the mystery myself again. And this is, I think, 3 more games of that basically. So
that's pretty cool. That
yeah,
makes it hard to do actual remakes then because it's like, oh, I'm not gonna play this
yeah.
twice.
If I've already played it, why do I need to play it again?
Yeah,
Yeah,
right. Pretty cool for those people. Okay, 100 line last event. This is just a Danganronpa game, which is just like an anime kind of basically point and click adventure. Um, I don't know.
this
I don't care about these.
so this one they added. It's actually a tactics game. They built it into the point and click adventure game story game. Um, but
Oh, so it's more. So there's combat because I didn't see any combat. Oh,
yeah,
I don't know. This just didn't seem like actual combat to me, but they do have combat. You're right.
yeah. I just remember
Uh,
it being really funny that I was watching them. They all get their weapons, and that crazy looking girl just like sticks her tongue out, and puts her hands up. I'm just like, is she just gonna bite them or something? Like, but yeah, it's just again ridiculous anime stuff as like children fighting for the sake of life and death. Was it the infamous? What was the infamous line? It was, children use the power of friendship to kill God. Is generally how all these games go at some point.
yep, looks like it. I'm not getting it. I don't care. Next.
All right.
Yeah.
Next one, Romancing
I think
Saga 2, Revenge of the Seven.
this
Um,
one, okay. I honestly, it looked like another sleeper RPG because there's like the mechanics seem pretty cool, and it's like you run a kingdom, and like you can also walk around and explore, and then also there's tactics. It
yeah,
seems pretty cool.
yeah. So yeah, when I first saw this, I was laughing at oh, Romancing Saga, Revenge of the Seven Evil Exes. But
Yeah, yeah.
then I like look,
Government.
as I said, I try to look these things up, and I found this is a remake from a game from 2017. This is like an
Well,
updated graphics. And when I was looking at the original, a lot of people said this is basically the Chrono Trigger that didn't make it to the America. Like that's what people compared it to.
oh,
And
wait. So remake from like SNES era, like that
something
long
like
ago?
um I'll where was the date? Oh, no, not 2017. My apologies. Remake from 1993 from Square Enix.
Oh my god,
Sorry,
they
I
really
was
updated this.
yeah. This is like a very advanced. Like it looks like old Final Fantasy 4 like graphics, and
Wow, yeah,
like now
93.
it's like up to date. There's a huge like lineage system that they talk about, as you said. Like there's actually a sign where it's like decide who's going to take on your legacy sort of thing. Like
Mm-hmm.
this, it
And there's
looks
an
really good.
order. You
Um, Came out in 1993 and was compared to Chrono Trigger as for how good it is.
Yeah. Okay, that makes me more excited for
Like
this. Yeah, because I love Chrono Trigger. Everyone loves Chrono
Yep.
Trigger. And there's like an order. It seems like you can fight the bosses in an order, so it's almost like Breath of the Wild.
Yep.
Yeah, anyway, it seems cool. I'd be into it. And then
I bet
you have
what
any more?
order. Sorry, just really quick. I bet what order you decide changes what options you have available in your next legacy. Like if you take on Poseidon, like the one that's
Oh
controlling
yeah,
the seas, you have better sail ships to get to like different areas.
the
But
next generation.
yeah.
That makes sense. That's pretty cool.
All right.
Anyways, the last final announcement.
Mm-hmm. This is where the number 2017 was coming into my
Yeah.
head. That's
Okay.
yeah. Metroid Prime 4
Go for it.
Beyond. I still
Oh,
remember when this was revealed in the 2017 E3, and just mom didn't know what was going on. She was just listening to stuff and suddenly heard me screaming across the entire house. Um, yeah.
what was that? I don't
So in case you're wondering, Metroid Prime was the game that made me realize that Metroid is an awesome series. This was the original franchise that made me fall in love with the entire franchise. This,
That's cool.
like, for a lot of people, this was their way into Metroid. This was my way into shooter games in the first place. This was an amazing game. The original Prime, I would go back to play right now if I felt it. Like, it's a really good game. And so we've been hyped for Metroid Prime 4, and then they restarted development. And so we had to wait.
That face.
And like I just like
Yes.
all my notes are just like the music just still like the way they changed the development of the music is beautiful. Always has its the visuals still look fantastic. They look so much better. I noticed that like they usually sometimes when you're going around you have to pause the game to look at the map again. The map's just in the top right corner of the screen now. So you can just always look at it while moving around. So you can navigate a lot more
Oh, that's
easily.
nice.
That was awesome. I love the scanning thing because you could just stop, pause, and like read a paragraph of what's happening in the story and get deeper
Yeah, the narrative
context than
stuff.
just, oh, we're shooting some guys. Like there's one you get into the enemy base and it explains what the enemies are doing. Like this new enemy appeared and like it actually explains like, oh, we're trying to experiment with this. Here was the results of the experiments, and it hints you, it like warns you of future enemies coming up your way.
Right. That's so cool.
And yeah,
Wow, very
these games are really good. So in case you're wondering, the reason Donkey Kong Country has returns hasn't gone anything before since Tropical Freeze. These are the same studio. So notes, these are also the
cool.
studio that makes another game that I 100% completes. You understand
So
why I love this studio, where they release a game, I'm buying it right now. Uh,
okay, that's a lot of really good stuff about it. One thing I thought like the graphics just kind of look like the Metroid Prime 1 remake. I don't know. Not that the graphics are really going to matter. And then all the gameplay. This is from someone who has not. I want to play Metroid Prime. Never played it, but just from an outsider, it just kind of looks the same. Like, and then the lock-on fighting's the same. I don't know. You got excited from
I'm
it though.
sorry.
I don't
I'm
know.
sorry. It's just like it's just the same. That's why it's great.
Yeah, I don't
Uh,
know. I guess
so
I was expecting them to show off something, which I guess to you there is a lot of little somethings that they showed
listen,
off
all
at
I
the end.
saw coming back was they brought it back. So in case
Okay,
you're
that's
wondering, the
good.
reason lock on is so important is because combat is not about shooting the enemy as much as about evasion and like being into the right positioning around it. Like you have like strafe jumps that you're focusing on. That's why the lock on's important and
Right, I
stuff like
wasn't
that.
trying to critique the locking on. It was more just like I'm just saying it looks exactly the same as the last combat. But
Got it.
um, yeah, but yeah, pretty cool.
Yeah,
Pretty cool. I've got nothing to say. If you're done, you're done.
yeah.
Or
And just like as Focus did say, like they didn't reveal all that much other than it's a lot of the same. But a lot of the same is exactly what I was looking for. So
all right, cool.
yeah.
So I think at the end here we should do a little Nintendo Direct review. We don't have to give it. Well, okay, we should start doing this for each Nintendo Direct. Hopefully they keep doing these, but
Mhm.
this was a really good one. For our first one, if we're gonna give it a rating, I'd give it like a 9 or 8,
Yeah.
just because like the only way you could do better. I mean, because there's a Zelda game. So yeah, I'll go with 9, just because it's the first one we reviewed. For my top games, real quick, for my most excited games, um, Honestly, Mario Party Jamboree, I think, is number 1 for me. And the only reason is because my expectations, like, the kind of when they showed us everything, so my expectations are like, "Okay, I know what I'm gonna get with this one." Number 2 is the Zelda, which is kinda surprising to me even, but it just kinda looks like a spin-off. Like, I don't know if it's gonna satisfy me what I like about Zelda, but I'm excited for it, you know? So Mario Party, Zelda, then Brothership, and then Metroid Prime 4, I think are mine. Uh my like top 4 like that. So what do you think? What's your grade?
So again, I'm thinking 9 out of 10, but my reasoning is simply because they had so many great games, but they didn't like
So
pace it properly. So like you get Mario and Luigi, which is fantastic. And the next big thing is game 13, Dragon Quest 3 and 1 and 2, which awesome for the people who love that. It's just like for me, it was like, okay, there's that. And then just suddenly we get the Marvel vs. Capcom that was like really hyped for a lot of people, immediately into Super Mario Party, immediately into Legend of Zelda. And it's like, slow down. You needed to space these out, and you had all this space between the first game and the 13th game that you could have used.
that's funny. I actually thought the pacing was perfect. I actually thought that was something I thought when I was watching it. That's interesting. Because for me, it's Mario and Luigi, which is nice, and then it goes. They showed this, which actually I like to see it. I'm not excited for it.
Mm-hmm.
Then some anime games I don't care about. Switch Sports. I guess anytime it's a mainline Nintendo thing, I just get a little excited, even if it's something stupid like this.
Yeah.
Um, yeah, that's funny. We had different experiences with that.
I just think like right here in the direct where they're showing like the new basketball update, the new Disney Island update, I would have liked it if we
Yeah.
could have gone the Mario Party reveal then to space it out a bit more.
Oh, because okay, I think the thing is though to you, this reveal right here is a lot bigger to
Hmm.
you than a lot of people. But that makes sense. That makes sense. I mean, it's your review, so yeah, that's cool.
But yeah,
All right,
as you're
anyway, so
saying,
you're nine. Yeah,
as
what's your like top 4, top whatever?
all right, top
How do you?
four. I mean, let's see. So here's the thing. Hmm, I'm definitely hyped for the
What's
Mario
your
Luigi
top one?
Brothership. So I think that's number one.
Number
Um,
one's Brothership. Okay.
Number two is Metroid Prime. The only reason it's not number one is because it's the furthest away of all of the games revealed. It is the one
Right. Yeah.
unidentified day in 2025.
Hmm.
So that's the one thing that knocks it down. Then of course Jamboree, which we're watching right now. Um,
We.
as for what the fourth is, I think here's the thing. Like I have so many games that I'm like, okay, I need to make sure the fourth is something I'm actually going to play. Because like I'm interested in like Phantom Brave, but I need to see if I really enjoy it before I'm going to
And you
put
don't
my.
have to. Oh wait, you're cutting out for me. I don't know what's showing on your end.
It's all right.
Oh, you're back.
I think I'm going to put for number four. I'm just going to put Pharmakia because I'm just interested in what that's going to become. I am
It
genuinely
is
interested.
interesting. I mean, because yeah, it's made by those two. Two. I think my internet's cutting out.
Yep, you have frozen, but I'm still hearing you perfectly fine. But I just see a single frame.
Okay.
All right.
Are you there? Are you
I
back?
am there. We are good.
Okay.
But
Cool.
yeah,
We're back. Yeah, my internet's. This is what I'm talking about. Like why I don't use my computer for anything but streaming and this stuff because it's like I'm gonna get Ethernet soon. But anyways, that's not for the podcast.
yep,
But cool. Yeah, Parmegia looks exciting. Pretty cool.
yep,
Both 9 out of 10. And we've been talking for an hour and a half. So I think we're good. Is there? And I've got nothing else to say.
yep.
Anything else you wanted to say? We roll out here and
Yeah.
yeah.
Just everyone, thank you so much for watching. Always love doing these podcasts. As always, you can follow Focus over on Twitch. He is doing
I'm
more.
actually gonna stream. I'm sorry. I'm gonna go stream right after this actually.
Yeah,
So yeah.
very much
So
more
I
consistent
see
streaming.
you in
Definitely an awesome person.
2
Um,
minutes.
you can follow me on my YouTube. I'll put videos up every once in a while. I'm always down. Anytime you catch me on a stream, it's an Ask Me Anything, so feel free to chat. But everyone, thank you so much for watching. I hope you
Oh
all.
wait, it's focus on Twitch by the way. Focus with the underscore FOECUS. Yeah.
All right. Anyways,
Thanks for watching.
everyone, thank you so much for watching. I hope you all have a wonderful day.